Hello and welcome to this video coverage of the Digital Slot Car Association's World Endurance Championship. Now, those of you who have been watching my coverage of these slot car events over the last 3 years will no doubt recognise the name of John Granger. John led his team to win this year's 24-hour Slot Car Le Mans. And it is therefore with great sadness that I have to announce that John lost his life in a car accident just 2 days after this most recent event was filmed. He was a very kind, intelligent and sociable young man and had a passion for motorsport, and indeed met some of motorsport's greats, including Lewis Hamilton of Formula 1. Now, at the end of this video I have added the last interview that I did with John. It's a fascinating insight into what it takes to be a winner in the 24-hour digital slot car Le Mans. But he not only gives us an insight into what it takes to be a winner in slot car racing, it's also an insight into what it takes to be a winner in any endeavour that we choose to pursue. I hope you like the video, and without further ado, here is the Digital Slot Car World Endurance Championship. Thanks for watching. Good morning and welcome to Rockingham Speedway Centre, where this morning on this very cold November morning is playing host to the Digital Slot Car Association's World Endurance Championship. This is a 6-hour race. This is really a precursor to next year's 24-hour Slot Car Le Mans. So I'm here with Tamar. May recognise him from the 24-hour Le Mans races in the past 2 to 3 years. An expert on this because he's a driver in this race as well. So he's driving in it as well. And what do you think of this track today? This is the first time this particular track has been used in digital racing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. This is they took, let me put it this way, like Herman Tilke would do in Formula 1. So they took all the corners, from the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and of course this is not Spa-Francorchamps, but you have the sequences, more or less the same thing. It's a very flowing and fast but fun circuit to drive. It's really a rewarding circuit. Yeah,
and it looks good when you look at it. It's an exciting circuit. Exactly. It's got lots of bends, lots of twists, and it's just about the right size, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty big. Yeah. But not too big. Well, and what is also nice is that it has lots of elevations compared to, for instance, Henley in Arden.
Henley's flat.
That's flat.
This one
has elevations, so you really go up the hill through Eau Rouge. Right. You really go down, from Pouhon, which is at the back. The step like that. Right. So no, it's a great track. Really. Love it.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you very much. We'll wait for your update. Okay. Tamar's doing some updates throughout the day as well as driving. So here we've got the Hopeful 6 World Endurance Championship 6-hour race. just the two of you? Is that? Oh, we've got another team member as well. So three. Yeah, starting drivers going on. Oh, they're going on the rostrums now. So what car are you entering on this one?
We've got a modified Lola Aston Martin.
Right.
It's to look like a Ligier, isn't it? We've tried to make it look like a Ligier.
Right.
Of chrome racing.
Oh right, okay.
It's the big lime green one, you can't miss it.
Oh, lime green again, because you had the Kermit one, so it's lime green again.
Kermit Mark II.
Right, okay, excellent. Is it a sidewinder or angle?
It's angle winder, so it's LMP1.
LMP1 angle winder.
It's the first time we've raced LMP1, so we're going to see what we
and how
can do
did you
with
do
the
on
big
how did you do on the test run?
It's going well. It's going well.
Yeah.
We could do with a bit more grip, but hopefully that'll come to us, as the race goes on.
As the week's gone. And is this a test run for the Le Mans 24-hour then?
Yeah, it's kind of a shakedown for that. Yeah, it's we're hoping to run a scratch-built car, but if that doesn't come off, we've got Kermit 2 to fall back on.
Right, brilliant. Okay, guys, thanks. Good luck. Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
will do one full lap. He will dedicate the pace. Power will be at full 100%, so just drive slowly, no overtaking, until the pace car is in the pits. Okay, and we have the first lap. No overtaking, no bumping. Hey, Gary.
Yeah, who's the matter? That's all we're going to keep going.
And the pace car is moving.
Okay,
no overtaking to Lydia, and now we have a race. And we have the lower. So back from another team. Hopeful 6 has been in the pits. According to chief mechanic Nick, the car died, but it has been resurrected successfully. 1 hour into the race, and it's time for the hourly update of Radio Le Mans 132nd, sponsored by Oliver 3D Racing from Portugal. We're 1 hour into the race, and what a race we have on our hands here in Rockingham, in the middle of England. Currently in our 271st lap. Best amount of laps being run by the leader, who at the moment is the team Rockingham Toyota TS040. It's just 2 laps behind. We have the Disca Proton Porsche 911 EGT, which is instantly recognized on track as the GT cars need to run yellow lights. In third place we have a new team that is new, their first international array into digital slot racing, the Dutch-Belgian, actually Belgian-Dutch because it's more mainly run by Dutch guys with a Belgian guest, by Belgian guys with a Dutch guest driver, Lowlands Racing.
We're approaching half race distance, and the race leaders Rockingham have clocked 8:14, so they're on target for 1600 after 6 hours. Lowlands Racing on 8:01, so they could do it as well. Disco Proton in third place leading GT, then the P2 battle, H2 Oliver and Exiles within the same lap, and currently battling it out for 4th and for 5th place overall. But it's the top of the hour, so marshals, please rotate your positions.
So I'm here with Tamar. So we just want to get your feedback really on how you think this race is going. In particular, any cars that you're finding are of interest and doing well.
Well, of course, we always have a mix in the Disco races between what you would call more or less stock cars, you know, that you can buy with more or less off-the-shelf parts, and then the liberties between the more modified cars.
Yep.
And that seems to, at the moment, we have a modified car in P1, but very closely followed by basically nearly stock car, you know, from a new team from Belgium, Lowlands Racers. So that's a fight that's panning out, and then we have our own car, which is a pretty well sorted GT. So if we
which one's yours? Which car?
We are running with the Scale Auto Porsche 991,
right?
Which
okay.
is a GT car run, you know, in real life by Disco Proton.
Right.
So we're currently laying in third, and for the rest we have the P2 class.
Yeah.
They had a bit of problem in the beginning with their lights, which are mandatory.
Yeah, on that lights thing, we did see the lights were out. This was the yellow one, wasn't
yes,
it?
Exactly.
The lights were out for quite a long for quite a long time.
Yeah.
What's the situation with that? Is that sort of breaking the rules, really, or?
Well, yes, visibility is very important, especially on a big track, you know, and especially in digital racing. So you're required to run lights all the time. Right. And here, luckily enough, it was just a small issue. It was actually just a connector getting loose every time. So they taped it up, so they'll be okay. And they climbed back from last place to now fourth.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And we saw an incident with Rockingham.
They were leading by 16 laps, and they decided to have a light issue.
Right.
Yeah, you know, it's still, even in model car racing, to finish first, you first have to finish. So
yes.
double checking everything, all your components on your car, because you do get crashes and you do get breakdowns.
Less than 2 hours to go now. The cars have been racing for over 4 hours, and it's getting really interesting, as it always does, because Rockingham have held the lead for a heck of a long time, but unfortunately are slipping back. They've just lost They've just gone down by 1 lap to Lowlands, the guest racing team, and they are now in the lead. So we're very similar to the scenario we saw in the 24-hour Le Mans, where Rockingham really are fighting yet again to stay on top. Matt, we're back where we started. I'm getting visions of 24 hours.
A sprint race. So we're now back on the lead lap. Changed tyres, back on the lead lap.
Right, okay.
So
but there's,
we're in second place. So.
Oh, right, second place, but there's zero. There's actually 1 lap.
Yep, just one lap. So changed the tyres, which helped enormously. It seemed to have a lot more grip now.
Right, okay.
We wanted to try and see whether we could do the whole 6 hours on the first set, but we couldn't quite. We did just over 4 hours.
Okay.
Changed them, and it's come back to life. But
we're back to the tension again.
You've got to have faith. You've got to have faith. Yeah. It's otherwise it's you, John.
Absolutely. It's me. I'm going to get the blame for this.
In the house, literally, is now wiggling his way around under the track. He's going in the right direction. Why take the easy way?
Right, we're back with Tamar again, expert on this, and right, we're well over 3/4 of the way through the race, and we're seeing repercussions of Le Mans with last year, with Rockingham back again fighting for the first place lead.
Yeah, it's every time they seem to have a good running car with small niggling problems.
Right.
So we have, I asked the team captain what was it. Yeah, the car just stopped and they fixed it. They usually it's small stuff, wires coming loose or connectors.
Right.
The car's really smooth and stable, when it's running.
Right. True, and we've seen Lowlands. These are new to this, aren't they? In terms of new to this race.
They're new to the Disca races, but for instance. Bart Somers, the Belgium guy, he's been running on Ninko for many years, also taking part in international endurance races like the 24 Hours of Brussels.
Right, okay.
They won the race in Suzuka, in Eindhoven, in Holland, last January.
Digital?
That was digital, yeah.
Okay.
So and that was their first digital Disca debut.
Right.
It's a new team for the series, but they're definitely not debutants.
Not new. I'm looking at that score now, and it's nothing between the top two.
With one lap between them, and look at the lap times. They're so close. It's really going to go down the wire. This one.
There's a lot of pressure, isn't there? There's a lot. When you're at this level, there's a lot of pressure.
It depends. There is a lot of pressure if you let it be a lot of pressure, because yes, of course, it's exciting and it's a race and you're fighting for the win. On the other hand, if you've been doing this game for 15, 20 years,
right,
you can let the pressure build, or you can just say like, oh, look, I'm just having such a ball because we're fighting for the lead, but it is still a slot race.
Yes.
Like I was teasing them a little bit with the commentary when they did their pit stop, so you can obviously see, when he's putting the car back together again, that he thinks like, oh, my stubby fingers, and where's the screwdriver?
Absolutely. We are now down to less than 5 minutes to go, and amazingly, after 1,500 laps and over 5 hours, almost 6 hours of racing, amazingly there's only one lap between the first and second place racers. Now this is getting really interesting because Rockingham find themselves in a position where they're in second place by barely a thread and don't really have to do a lot to get the win on this. Can they get that one lap that they need back from Lowlands and win this race within 5 minutes? Both Lowlands and Rockingham have clocked up 1,600 laps, and despite that amount of laps, there's still only one lap between them. We have just 50 seconds left of this race, and amazingly the gap between Lowlands and Team Rockingham is just one lap. Over 1,600 laps have been raced and only one lap separates the two. 8 seconds to go. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. That is it. That is it. And Lowlands have won. The guest team here in the UK has won. Let's just get this. Fantastic. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. One lap between the two. after 1600. That's amazing, absolutely amazing. So here's the distance between the first and second cars at the point they stopped. There's Rockingham, and there is Lowlands. There you go. That's how close the two cars were. Unbelievably close. You are the team captain.
Yes, I am.
For the Lowlands team.
Correct.
Where have you come from today?
Belgium.
So you've come all the way from Belgium to race.
Yeah.
And it's been worth it for you?
Yeah, it was worth it. We had a bit of a, let's say, a downfall at the start because Rockingham was quicker.
Yeah.
They ran into mechanical problems.
Yeah.
So the race is open then.
And you've won it. I mean, you've come here, you've conquered, so to speak, you've won it, but by half a second. One lap. Is that about right? I think it's about right.
It was nearly one lap. It was less than a lap, okay. But
Less than a lap.
less than a lap. After 6 hours, that's close.
Yeah.
Because one lap is like 12 and a half seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's...
So you've done digital slot racing before, but new to this one. Is that this event? Is that right?
I've done Disca, but this is the first WEC event that I've done. I've built the car for this year in January for the Suzuka track in Eindhoven. It won there as well.
Okay.
So I'm quite pleased. 2 out of 2.
2 out of 2. And are you going to be racing in the 24-hour Le Mans?
I'm looking at it 50-50. We'll see. But not with that car.
Right.
We'll see.
Interesting race though, very exciting. Well done to you and your team, and
thank you.
Well worth coming over to watch that. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Go through the results in reverse order. So 7th place was North Staffs with the Viper. 6th place, debuting the P1 car, was the Hopeful 6. 5th place with the Acura was Exiles. And in 4th place, after a recovery from an early issue and winner of the P2 category, it was H2 Oliver. Great place. Third place, after flirting with the lead overall in the early stages, was Disco Proton Racing. After a titanic battle for both the P1 category win and the race overall, came down to just less than a lap in the end, and it was Rockingham. And finally, to the winners of the race overall, travelling to the UK for the first time, repeating the performance from the Suzuka 6 Hours in Eindhoven at the start of the season, it was Lowlands Racing.
Close win, but very good.
True, absolutely.
Striker team. Last year won the concourse with the Nissan GTR. This year entering with the Audi. Right, okay. And never actually won it, this event. the trouble you went to win this race was just unbelievable to me. Unbelievable, because you've got Seb Van Elter, isn't it? This young lad, and you found him because he was one of the fastest slot car racers in Europe. And if I remember what you said, you flew out to Holland to meet him and take the car, your car, so that he could test it.
Yep. The whole production of the car took a long time. You know, we probably started making the body in June or July 2016 for a race at the start of April 2017. That was the effort, because the car started out, as you saw, a lot bigger than what we ended up with. Because we had to shrink it down using various processes. But then also just the chassis development. We looked at what other teams had run. We used that as inspiration, but then drew it. But then the first one that you draw, it's okay, but you need to open up certain holes, certain things foul, that when you look at it on the screen it looks okay, but if they're pretty close, and it's only when you really run it, and especially with the Ninko track that we race on, it's so bumpy. You know, if you race it on a very smooth track, a lot of the problems that
on
you
the wooden
encounter,
track, so you're getting a difference between wooden track and plastic track,
and just very, very, very subtle differences, like even how much the rail protrudes out of the track surface. You know, that affects the whole handling of the car. So we flew over. It's huge. It's enormous. So I flew over end of October 2016. And met up with two of my teammates, and it was basically just a weekend really of slot car racing, but we focused a lot on the chassis, what we needed to improve. Then we went out again at the end of January for a 6-hour race at Eindhoven, which a lot of the teams competed in. We learnt a lot about that. We learned that we weren't as fast as we thought we were going to be. We weren't as reliable as we thought we were going to be.
It is just phenomenal to go to that length. You know, I don't think people would believe it. You know, people don't believe it. When I tell them, they don't believe that people will go to that length. But then when you watch it, that's when you get it, I think. That's when...
Well, then we flew out again at the start of March for an 8-hour test at the track.
Yeah, you went pre-Le Mans testing.
Yeah, and
which I wanted to join you with, but I couldn't.
And it was great, because what I'd noticed, especially other teams that I'd raced with, but when we entered our own team for the first time in 2016, when we raced the Nissan, we were doing a lot of work on the Friday at the track. You know, making sure nothing foul, getting it right. So rather than just sending parcels to each other, it was cheaper for me to fly, deliver the car, work on it.
But it's still time and effort,
exactly.
You know.
But I mean, for me, this is... I've raced a lot of slot car races in Europe as well as in the UK, and this is the best slot car race, hands down.
It's Striker Racing have won it. Have won it. This has been a big ambition for you the last 3 years to win this, becoming third, is that right? So you've wanted to win, you've said that at the start, you've won it now, and I think some of it comes down to this man here, fastest man in Europe, and this man here. In fact, everybody is a team really. It is a big team effort. What a race. Yeah, so it's led, his name above the door, led by John Granger. What a team, what a team, what a race. Well done guys, that is a phenomenal race.